So high and low context culture have different segments and varieties inside the same culture. So for example, the USA have different cultures inside and some are not. Yes, culture maps are a simplification. They say this is the United States, this is Mexico, this is Japan. In every country, however small it is, I'm talking to you from Hungary right now, we have half as many people as in Shanghai, but still within Hungary we have some cultural varieties. But every country or every society has a kind of mainstream culture that everybody can imagine. So let's imagine that you have a friend from China, and this friend tells you about how she grew up, how her parents were looking after her. And then you say, oh, that's interesting. Those people are not typical Chinese parents at all. So this is how we have a general impression of what the mainstream culture in each society is. Now, if you're not satisfied with this, because obviously in China, for example, urban society and rural society, quite completely different culture. People who have a high level of education, low level education, again, different culture. You can place those different subcultures on a culture map. You can map different ethnic groups in societies where you have many of them. I work, for example, with Pakistan, with India, where you have very diverse ethnic groups. So we just stand in front of a whiteboard or a flip chart with those people and we say, all right, so if you think about one particular ethnic group within India, do you think they are more confrontational or less confrontational? I do it the wrong way now. Do you think they are more confrontational or less confrontational than mainstream Indian culture? Do you think they express their emotions more obviously than the mainstream Indian culture? Or do you think they are more cryptic and reserved? And this exercise is quite easy to play. High context, low context, let's put it to the side because that's a Hofstee category, or actually it's a category from Edward T. Hall. And you can translate it into the terms that the culture map uses, but that would be a little bit longer question. So if you want to know how it works, feel free to drop me an email or we can schedule a call. So let me go through this very long question very quickly. In China, it varies from city to city due to their different economic development status. So yes, this is about varieties in China. In China, there are, I think, 3 or 4 big divisions, just like in many other countries as well. Some of them are more relevant to, let's say, your culture. Some of you, people usually don't call into this webinar from the United States because the time zone is crazy, but we might have quite a few people from Europe and different Asian countries as well, and perhaps the Middle East. Now, just imagine some of these categories might be relevant to you as well. In China, traditional and less traditional. A lot of people, when they come to China to work, they are surprised how atypical the people surrounding them are. Because before they went to China, or at the beginning of their China tenure, they read books about Chinese culture, mainstream Chinese culture. Their head is full of Confucian values, harmony, not pushing yourself to the foreground. And then they go and they pick up a job at Ford Motors China or a large energy company. And they are working together with people who are quite competitive. They know what they want. They are straightforward. And they are surprised why they are not like Confucian scholars. So is Chinese culture actually not like what I read in the book? No. Mainstream Chinese culture is still the way you read about the book. But you don't work in a place like that. You work with people who are urban, different from most people. I mean, more than half of the people in China still don't live in cities. They are affluent, so they have the money to make choices. For many Chinese people, that's not an option. They are well educated. They know about international cultural traditions. So at the end of the day, they are not those typical Chinese people that you read about in books. That's why I actually don't recommend that international managers prepare themselves from manuals about how to work with traditional Chinese culture.